The iPhone Air is Apple's boldest design refresh in years. It is almost impossibly thin at 5.64mm, yet still sturdy thanks to the use of titanium and ceramic shield. It is 6.5-inch ProMotion display and iOS 26's liquid glass makeover feel purpose-built for this form factor, even after a week of use. This still feels like Apple's most exciting design refresh in years. Battery life is solid, if not class-leading, and the single 48-megapixel camera limits flexibility, but for those who value design and portability above all else, it is sexy and stunning and maybe a new kind of pro. If you are following the Apple rumor cycle, we were all expecting an ultra-thin iPhone to be released, one that would potentially go thinner than the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, be more stunning than the iPhone X, and offer a truly refreshed look and feel for the iPhone. The launch event's awe-dropping tagline set the bar high, and the iPhone Air cleared it with room to spare. It's not the first ultra-thin phone. The Galaxy S25 Edge measures in at 5.8mm, but it still feels as stunning, sleek, and sexy in my hand right now after living with it for a week as it did during my brief hands-on session following the launch event. It feels as exciting as the iPhone X in that it might give us the playbook for the modern iPhone going forward, or at least show us one half of the purportedly incoming foldable iPhone. The photos released by Apple and even those shot by me for this review only do it partial justice. The iPhone Air is the best representation yet of Apple's vision for an iPhone that's just glass. It weighs in at just 5.82 ounces or 165 grams, fully justifying the Air moniker. Much like the iPhone 17 or even Pro Max, it feels balanced, not too top heavy, not too bottom heavy. It's Goldilocks ergonomics. I don't know if I'd quite call it awe-dropping, but the thinness is the part that gets people excited. At its thinnest, the iPhone Air is 5.64mm or 0.22 inches, and the plateau only jutes out of a bit more. I was instantly wowed, and over the course of a week, I have really become accustomed to this look and feel for an iPhone. While conducting some testing over the week, I showed it to my brother and sister-in-law, who were both visibly impressed when holding it. They asked about durability and were a little stunned at the overall feel. Then came the questions about battery life and the camera, both of which I will address below, and whether the USB-C port was thinner. On that last point, it is still a regular USB-C port, but to fit it in this frame and get in this small, Apple's design team started by 3D printing a custom one. And given how thin this phone had to be, Apple went back to grade 5 titanium for the shell and sides of the device. To further enhance the looks, it has a polished finish. My sky blue review handset is different from the MacBook Air and iPad Air colors of the same name. It is a bit lighter and pastel-like. I really like it, and the Air also comes in light gold, space black, and cloud white. While the innermost layer of the iPhone Air sandwich is made of that strong titanium, which can bend slightly under pressure but is designed to spring back, it's topped and bottomed with glass and glass ceramic, specifically Ceramic Shield 2 on the front and the Ceramic Shield on the back. The rear, like the iPhone 17, is mostly frosted matte glass, while the top bump gets the glossy finish. Apple says the Air is 3 times more scratch resistant on the front, so I've still been careful sliding this in and out of my front or rear jeans pockets, and the back is 4 times more crack resistant. It also has the same IP68 rating for resistance to dust and water as the iPhone 17, 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. It survived a light drizzle shortly after I unboxed it in Apple Park. The weather's been wet in my home state of Jersey, and the Air has shown no issues on being used in rain or surviving a dunk test. Even given the extreme thinness here, you still get the usual buttons you would expect on an iPhone. Camera control has been redesigned to live on the right hand side, and it's slightly thinner but about the same length as on other iPhones. The power or sleep button sits slightly higher on the side with the action button, volume up and volume down on the left. The main mono speaker lives at the top of some microphones, and there are two other microphones either side of the USB-C port on the bottom. This design does, as mentioned, only leave room for a single camera and likely a smaller battery inside, but Apple has also dropped the SIM card slot worldwide and opted for eSIM to save some space. The iPhone Air is stunning, attracts a lot of admiring glances, and feels like biggest refresh in iPhone design we have seen in a while. Yes, it's the same key parts, just compressed, but in use it feels like the perfect showcase for iOS 26. If you are after Apple's best design this year, I think it is clearly the iPhone Air. This is where the compromises necessitated by the iPhone Air's unfeasibly thin design begin. The iPhone Air only features a single 48 megapixel fusion camera on the back. It can shoot at 1x, a sensor crop in 2x, or a maximum digital 10x, but the quality falls off noticeably with the latter. I will cut to the chase here. If you are after the iPhone with the best cameras or even just some variety for shooting, this is probably not it. Here are some camera samples of the new iPhone Air. The iPhone Air delivers remarkable performance in a super thin and light design that's very durable. I especially like getting A19 Pro power in something this compact, but you have to make some trade-offs for the steep $999 price. You get only a single rear camera, which means no telephoto zoom, ultra-wide or macro shots, and while the Air's battery life is solid, it's a few hours behind the iPhone 70 Pro Max.